Part 12. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 111. Chapter 111. Yu Lingfeng is very likely to hurt you. Fire Yu Lingfeng. What? Xia Ying frowned and looked at Jun Chenai. Jun Chenai had a cold look, and there was no doubt about it. Tutor, fire him. Jun Chenai looked at Xia Ying with sharp eyes. There are so many experienced and suitable candidates, why do you have to let someone like him be your tutor? I said, Jun Chenai, are you being too lenient? Xia Ying was also speechless at him. Who do I use as my tutor? Does it have anything to do with you? Stupid woman, what do you know? Could this young master still harm you? Jun Chenai became furious. Could Yu Lingfeng harm me? Xia Ying retorted. Who knows? What the hell? Xia Ying didn't understand Jun Chenai's logic. Do you know who he is and let him be your tutor? Jun Chenai said angrily. He is the son of my father's good friend. What's wrong? Who do you think he is? Xia Ying and Jun Chenai started to argue. Then you tell me his origin and his father's origin. Jun Chenai stared at Xia Ying with half-closed eyes. Xia Ying choked and didn't know how to answer him. Xia Ying is unfamiliar with everything about Yu Lingfeng, but one thing he is sure of is that Yu Lingfeng must be a good person, and he will definitely not hurt her. Expel him, and I will choose a better tutor for you. Jun Chenai's face was serious. Don't want. Xia Ying immediately refuted him. Jun Chenai looked at Xia Ying and was slightly angry. Don't you understand what I said? Yu Lingfeng will probably hurt you. He won't. Hey, Jun Chenai sneered, you know that our Jun family has a lot of connections and it's easy to check things out, but you still don't believe me. Jun Chenai turned to look at Xia Ying, or, you stupid woman, are you already attracted to him? What nonsense are you talking about? Xia Ying didn't know how to explain to him. I don't care what you found out. In short, Yu Lingfeng must be a good person. She can guarantee everything she has. In the last life, Yu Lingfeng always tried every means to protect her and guard her. How could such a person be in danger to herself? How could he be the person Jun Chenai said would hurt him? You are really stupid. Jun Chenai snorted very unhappily. I will find the evidence. What you have to do now is to stay as far away from that person as possible. Xia Ying raised her eyebrows helplessly. Who can tell her what is going on? Yu Lingfeng asked her to stay away from Jun Chenai, and Jun Chenai asked her to stay away from Yu Lingfeng. What on earth are these two people doing? Then tell me, what information did you find out about Yu Lingfeng? Jun Chenai glanced sideways at Xia Ying and said coldly, when you were 5 years old, how much do you still remember about the fire in the annex in kindergarten? Xia Ying was stunned, and memories came to her like a tide. Fire case in love kindergarten. Xia Ying has always had a nightmare. Because of the fire, Xia Ying's heart was left with indelible trauma. After witnessing the departure of her classmates, young Xia Ying felt the horror of death for the first time because of the fire. The thick black smoke that was trapped, the water jets that the firefighters sprayed desperately into the kindergarten filled with death flames. From then on, Xia Ying was afraid of fire, water, and the dark. Everything was because of that scene. Fire. Thanks to the little QDA Ikungzi's 1,000 paper cranes for the reward. Please give me a recommendation vote. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 112. Chapter 112. Their father and son are not that simple. What do you mean? Xia Ying felt a little out of breath and looked at Jun Chenai blankly. When you don't know a person's background, you still trust him 100%. You women are really stupid. Jun Chenai complained angrily. What on earth are you trying to say? Could Yu Lingfeng have something to do with that fire, but how old was he at that time? Yu Lingfeng and his father Yu Moliang, These two people are not as simple as you think. Jun Chennai said this with deep meaning. Speak clearly first. Xia Ying calmed down, looked at Jun Chennai, and said. You will naturally know when I find 100% evidence, Jun Chennai continued, but before that, staying away from that person is the only thing you can do. Wait a minute, how did you know about the fire in Ixin kindergarten? Xia Ying looked at Jun Chennai suspiciously. At that time, shouldn't Jun Chennai be just like her, just a kid in kindergarten? How did he know these things? This actually led to the investigation into Yu Lingfeng? Because, I am there too. What? Xia Ying was shocked. I only learned recently that you and I both experienced that fire. How is it possible? Xia Ying was surprised. I was the only survivor of that fire. Xia Ying remembers it clearly, and the media reports at the time also wrote this. All the little children died except her. I was not using my name or my identity at that time. You don't know it's normal. Jun Chennai continued, after all, I am the only heir of the Jun family, and there are many people who covet my identity and status. Before I was 12 years old, I always used a false identity. I only recovered after I entered junior high school. Real identity. The Jun family is the head of the 4 major families in the imperial capital and the most powerful family. As the only heir of the family, Jun Chennai has lived a cautious life since he was a child. I was in that fire, but everyone thought that my fake identity died. Jun Chennai continued, remember what I told you, Mr. R saved my life in that fire. He saved me. Xia Ying is getting more and more surprised. Why is it related to Mr. R? I was also rescued by someone in that fire. Xia Ying said silently. Jun Chennai became alert. Could it be that you were also saved by Mr. R? I don't remember. Xia Ying shook her head. It was so long ago that she really had no memory. That should be it, Jun Chennai said to himself. When Mr. R saved me, he was not Mr. R yet. At that time, Mr. R had not yet made his debut. My hand was injured at that time. He took out a black ribbon and tied it to my injured place. Then he hugged me and left the scene of the fire. I can't remember what he looked like, but I saw it on TV later. Mr. R, the exact same ribbon on his hand and his figure made me sure that he saved me. I have always wanted to meet Mr. R and thank him in person. But he has always refused to meet me. Later, he disappeared. Jun Chennai lowered his eyes, feeling a little lonely. I have been investigating this matter for a long time. I suspect that Mr. R was murdered. And that person was probably Yu Lingfeng. The fire in the kindergarten was probably caused by Yu Lingfeng's father, Yu Moliang. This chapter is a bit brain-burning. If you don't understand it, read it several times. Of course your male protagonist is a good person. Let's see if there is any smart little cutie who can deduce it. Rightward arrow. Rightward arrow. Another, more updates will be added if the recommendation votes exceed 3,000. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 113. Chapter 113. I always believe in Yu Lingfeng. Xia Ying's eyes widened in surprise, and she opened her mouth. It took a long time before she spoke. Jun Chennai, I don't care what you found, but I always believe in Yu Lingfeng. Jun Chennai clenched his fists, and his joints made a clanging sound. You woman, you are really stupid. Although Xia Ying is unfamiliar with everything about Yu Lingfeng, she knows that Yu Lingfeng must be a good person and cannot be the murderer. Jun Chennai said. Before seeing real evidence, Xia Ying didn't believe anything. She only believed in the memory of her previous life. In her last life, her family was broken up and displaced, and Xia Ying was accused by thousands of people. At that time, she was the only one with Yu Lingfeng. She tried to commit suicide again and again, especially after her mother left her. Xia Ying no longer had any care and no longer had any hope for this indifferent world. But Yu Lingfeng told her to let her live. He stopped her from committing suicide time and time again. He said she could not die. He said he would find a way to help her. Although Xia Ying died in a car accident in her previous life before she could get help from Yu Lingfeng. Such Yu Lingfeng is absolutely impossible to be a murderer. As for Yu Lingfeng's father, Yu Moliang, Xia Ying doesn't know and won't make any judgment, but Yu Lingfeng must be a good person and will not hurt her. Haven't you ever doubted that Yu Lingfeng has always been a hidden person in the world, and suddenly he wants to be your tutor? What is his intention? Xia Ying covered her ears, looked at Jun Chenai seriously, and said, "Stop talking, I won't listen, I only believe in my own inner judgment." Jun Chenai looked at Xia Ying with half-squinted eyes and gritted his teeth angrily, "Stupid woman." In the following time, Jun Chenai was so angry that he stopped communicating with Xia Ying, and Xia Ying stopped talking to him. The two of them just sat there, neither paying attention to the other. After arriving at school, Xia Ying walked quickly in front instead of walking with Jun Chenai. Jun Chenai looked at Xia Ying's back and said angrily, "Damn, is there something wrong with this woman?" I kindly reminded her that for her sake, she is still angry with me. Jun Chenai said he couldn't understand. Jian Li said weakly from the side, "Young Master Jun, what you said is correct, but your attitude is also." "What's wrong with my attitude?" Jun Chenai was displeased. "Why should I be so condescending to that stupid woman? Then will you still take her to and from school in the future?" Another sentence came from Jian Li. Jun Chenai gritted his teeth and said nothing. "Master Jun, just ignore her from now on. It's her fault that she doesn't appreciate it. Anyway, you've done your best and you've said everything you need to say to her. I can't just watch that stupid woman die, can I?" Jun Chenai said this coldly, and then walked forward. Jian Li snickered behind him. After all, Jun Chenai still couldn't worry about Xia Ying. As soon as Xia Ying entered the teaching building, she felt that the people around her were strange. They kept staring at her and talking quietly about something. Xia Ying wonders, is she any different today? It seems not. Xia Ying met Ye Xiaoxun on the stairs. Ye Xiaoxun approached Xia Ying mysteriously and asked her in a low voice, "Xia Ying, are you and Mr. Jun together?" "Ah." Xia Ying was surprised, "What the hell?" End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 114. Chapter 114. Are you and Jun Chenai together? It's been circulating in the forums, saying that you and Jun Chenai are together. Ye Xiaoxun said. Why? Xia Ying was confused. Did Jun Chenai send you to school this morning? Xia Ying nodded. It must have been secretly photographed and then posted on the Taiba forum for publicity, Ye Xiaoxun said. I'm speechless, who is so boring? Xia Ying was helpless, and then took out her mobile phone. Sure enough, the post bar was abuzz with discussions about Jun Chenai and Xia Ying. Jun Chenai's previous remarks on Weibo were also exposed, and suddenly, it became clear that Jun Chenai and Xia Ying were together. Lonely Shazhu Leng, the male and goddess of Guangyang, are together. How many boys and girls have fallen out of love? Young Master Leng of the buried love family, I said that it would be great if goddess Xia Ying was happy. I will go and draw circles in the corner and cry for a while. I, Lao Hu, the most handsome person, do not accept the rebuttal. Young Master Jun and Xia Ying, the eye-catching table mates, are really together. God, in this face-based world, I have always expected that young Master Jun would end up with a girl from a commoner background who is stubborn and refuses to admit defeat, just like in the novel, just like Chu Yugzun and Murong Yunhai. Let's watch the meteor shower together. Wait for me upstairs. I think so too. Oh, I'll watch another episode of the meteor shower. Xia Ying couldn't stand it anymore, put down her phone, and walked into the classroom with Ye Xiaoxun. However, just as Xia Ying was about to enter the classroom, she was stopped by Mu Niankai from behind. Xia Ying, stop right here. Xia Ying raised her forehead helplessly. She had already guessed that Mu Niankai would cause trouble when she was reading the forum. This girl is Jun Cheniai's little crush. She wholeheartedly looks forward to being with Jun Cheniai. It was like this in the last life, and it will still be like this in this life. If you want to tell me about Taiba, I don't have time to explain it to you. In just one sentence, it's all a misunderstanding. Xia Ying got straight to the point. Mu Niankai's eyes turned red with anger and she stared at Xia Ying. What's the misunderstanding? You've always told me that you have nothing to do with brother Cheniai, but you have been flirting with my brother Cheniai secretly. You woman is really shameless. I'm shameless, Xia Ying sneered, you are really funny. If you like him, you can just chase him by yourself. What does it have to do with me? I told you that I have nothing to do with Jun Cheniai. There is no relationship. You don't believe me. There's nothing we can do. Then how do you explain what happened on Taiba? I said it was a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding, Mu Niankai sneered, I've already been photographed, and you're still making excuses. I don't have time to talk to you about these boring things. If you want to know, ask your brother Cheniai. Xia Ying didn't want to talk nonsense with Mu Niankai anymore, so she was about to turn around and leave. But Mu Niankai grabbed her wrist, stop, I won't let you leave until you explain clearly to me today. Mu Niankai, let me go. At this time, a cold male voice suddenly sounded, and the entire corridor's attention was attracted to him. Mu Niankai turned around and found that it was Jun Cheniai, and her eyes suddenly softened. Xia Ying took the opportunity to withdraw the hand that Mu Niankai had just held tightly. Sakura, are you okay? Ye Xiaoxun asked in a low voice. Xia Ying's wrist had turned red, and a few red marks were particularly conspicuous against Xia Ying's snow-white skin. Fine. Xia Ying shook her head. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 115. Chapter 115 Xia Ying is my fiancé. Brother Cheniai, I. Mu Niankai became a little at a loss under Jun Cheniai's sinister gaze. Jun Cheniai walked up to Xia Ying, protected her behind him, looked at Mu Niankai condescendingly, and said seriously and word by word, Mu Niankai, Xia Ying is my fiancé, please be more respectful in the future, I won't let you go if you cause trouble for her again. Mu Niankai opened her eyes wide in surprise and looked at Jun Cheniai in disbelief. Not only Mu Niankai, but everyone in the corridor who heard it exclaimed. Has Jun Cheniai personally admitted his relationship with Xia Ying? Xia Ying tugged at the corner of Jun Cheniai's clothes and said to him, Jun Cheniai, please stop talking nonsense, okay? Jun Cheniai turned sideways slightly and looked at Xia Ying firmly, shut up, stupid woman. Just as Xia Ying wanted to say something, she was pulled into the classroom by Jun Cheniai. Hey, Jun Cheniai, let go, it hurts. Sky. Her wrist might be broken. Why is this person so rough? Do you know what it means to cherish the fragrance and cherish the jade? Hey. Xia Ying was pulled to her seat by Jun Cheniai and forced her to sit down. Mu Niankai, on the other hand, was still in a mess. Jun Cheniai, her childhood sweetheart who grew up with her, was so indifferent to her because of Xia Ying, and even threatened her not to cause trouble to Xia Ying, otherwise she would look good. What kind of magic did the Xia Ying cast on Jun Cheniai? For him to be so devoted to her. Jun Cheniai, can you stop talking nonsense? Xia Ying was speechless. Do you know that if you say this, Mu Niankai will only make trouble for me even more serious? Jun Chennai glanced at her. You are my fiancé, what nonsense did I say? I. Xia Ying raised her forehead helplessly. Young Master Jun, who told me not to have any ideas for you in the first place? Can you be firmer? Jun Chennai paused and became speechless. What do you know? What does she know? She really doesn't understand. Muni Ankai walked into the classroom with an angry face. Sun Han and other young girls kept coaxing her to no avail. Sister Nian Chi, don't be angry. As time goes by, Mr. Jun will definitely know who that Xia Ying is. If you like Mr. Jun so much, you will impress him one day. Sun Han comforted him. Muni Ankai rolled her eyes. I'm just not convinced. How on earth is Xia Ying better than me? Why is brother Chennai so nice to her? That. Xia Menjian interrupted. Sister Nian Chi, remember what I told you before? Jun Chennai and Xia Ying are engaged. What's wrong with the engagement? Isn't it great? Our Mu family is no worse than their Xia family. Muni Ankai's eyes turned red with anger and she felt extremely wronged. It's really annoying. I don't know who posted something in the forum that Xia Ying and Mr. Jun are together. Now the whole school is discussing this matter. Sun Han was holding his cell phone and was very angry. Hearing this, Xia Menjian lowered her head and said nothing. Menjian, is it really brother Chennai who took the initiative to pick Xia Ying up from school today? Muni Ankai turned her head and asked Xia Menjian. When she received the photo from Xia Menjian today, she almost vomited blood. Xia Menjian nodded, yes, and Jun Chennai was the one who took Xia Ying home yesterday. Depend on. Muni Ankai cursed and clenched her fists. Xia Ying is really annoying. While telling me it was a misunderstanding, she had already hooked up with brother Chennai. She deliberately abducted my brother Chennai secretly. Thanks to the little cutie Aikingzi's 1,000 paper cranes for the reward. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 116. Chapter 116, sit back and enjoy the success. Sister Nian Chi, when you say that, I think Xia Ying is a little scheming. Xia Menjian continued, she deliberately talked to you like that this morning, just to let Jun Chennai hear and defend her. By the way, she make a fool of yourself. Muni Ankai became even more crazy after hearing Xia Menjian's analysis. So she was tricked by Xia Ying? Damn it, I won't let her go. Muni Ankai gritted her teeth and said. Xia Menjian lowered her head and smiled. The photos in the post bar were of course posted by her. She posted them using her own trumpet. She wanted to arouse Muni Ankai's anger. Anyway, Muni Ankai likes Jun Chennai hopelessly. She knows that Xia Ying and Jun Chennai are not simple, and based on Muni Ankai's usual behavior, he will definitely cause trouble for her. As for her, she can just wait and enjoy her achievements. Jun Chennai, how is Rong Si's investigation going? Xia Ying didn't talk to Jun Chennai for a long time, but when she thought about the investigation, she still put down her posture and asked him. He will tell me when the results come out. Jun Chennai said calmly. All right. Xia Ying held her head with her hands, thinking about something. Jun Chennai glanced sideways at Xia Ying, and his eyes fell on her wrist, which was still a little red. It was probably because he used too much force in the morning and it was like that. Hey, I'm sorry. What? Xia Ying looked at Jun Chennai confused. Why did he suddenly apologize again? Following Jun Chennai's gaze, Xia Ying probably knew that he was referring to her wrist. It's nothing, I'm not that squeamish. Xia Ying curled her lips and continued, but what you told me this morning, I still have to refute. You must have misunderstood something. Yu Lingfeng must be innocent. Jun Chennai was a little unhappy when he saw that Xia Ying was involved in that matter again. The information provided by Rong Ci will definitely not be false. Jun Chennai calmed down and said. Judging from Xia Ying's behavior in the morning, Jun Chennai already knew Yu Lingfeng's position in Xia Ying's heart. This girl trusted him completely and unconditionally, and could not listen to a single word he said. But Jun Chennai is different. Mr. R is his savior and the most important person to Jun Chennai. His biggest wish in this life is to see him again and thank him. If he was really murdered, then he would never let that person go. Rong Ci is a top agent who has been trained since childhood. There is no information that he cannot find out, and the information he finds out is also very credible. He is almost infallible. Therefore, when Rong Ci told Jun Chennai that Yu Lingfeng was related to Mr. R's disappearance, and that his father was related to the fire when Jun Chennai was a child, Jun Chennai could no longer calm down. Yu Lingfeng's sudden approach to Xia Ying also made Jun Chennai wary. If Yu Lingfeng is really a bad guy and a murderer, then Xia Ying will definitely be in danger by his side. Although Jun Chennai still doesn't know what Yu Lingfeng's motives are, it never hurts to be more wary. It's a pity that Xia Ying currently trusts him wholeheartedly, which makes Jun Chennai a little helpless. Xia Ying said nothing, but her eyes made it clear that she believed in Yu Lingfeng. As long as Yu Lingfeng hadn't told her personally that he was a murderer, she wouldn't have believed it. Start torturing Xiamenji and right away spread some dog food. By the way, the male protagonist is coming out soon. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 117. Chapter 117. I can protect myself. Jun Chennai, don't take me to and from school in the future. I have my own driver. Xia Ying thought of the heated discussion in the forum and said to Jun Chennai. Jun Chennai is the national male god, and becoming his rumored girlfriend will bring a lot of unnecessary trouble to Xia Ying's life. What's more, Xia Ying really doesn't want to waste her time on dealing with people like Mu Niankai. She has more important things to do. She has already posted on the forum to clarify that she has nothing to do with Jun Chennai. However, it is still difficult to appease the gossipy and restless hearts of those people. I'm helping you. I appreciate your kindness, but I really don't need it. I have my own driver, and I can protect myself. Xia Ying was helpless. Jun Chennai twitched the corner of his mouth, a little unhappy, but he still said two words from between his teeth. Whatever. Thank you. Xia Ying breathed a sigh of relief. Xia Ying simply couldn't imagine such a life if Jun Chennai had to take her to and from school in the future. Today is Wednesday. New comics will be released every Wednesday at Annie's comic shop. Xia Ying also regularly goes to the comic shop after school on Wednesdays. When Xia Ying met Mu Niankai's group on the road, she felt hopeless. The originally cheerful face suddenly fell down. Are all these high school students so boring? The college entrance examination is about to take place. If you don't study hard and make progress every day, you will be looking for this and that trouble all day long. How exciting would it be? Xia Ying felt that it was time for her to learn something like Taekwondo. Otherwise, it would be difficult to survive high school safely. Xia Ying instinctively turned around and walked away. Her driver was not far away. Maybe she could avoid this group of people if she walked faster. The group of people Mu Niankai brought today looked familiar, Xia Ying suddenly remembered. They were the ones who were sent to a juvenile facility after being reported by Yu Lingfeng last time, so today Mu Niankai brought them to take revenge? Xia, please stop. Mu Niankai yelled, and then a group of people chased Xia Ying. Damn it, that group of people definitely expected that Xia Ying would go to the comic store today, so they waited for her in the alley that Xia Ying must pass. Xia Ying could guess with her toes that Xiamenjian must have tipped them off, and Xiamenjian was not among that group of people, so she probably wanted to avoid suspicion. This woman really never stops. Xia Ying regretted that she did not practice running seriously in physical education class. Soon she was caught up by the group of people and surrounded. You put away her mobile phone and see what else she uses to record it. Mu Niankai learned the lesson and was the first to think of taking away Xia Ying's cell phone. Smelly girl, because of you last time, we sisters were sent to a juvenile center, and we were also notified by the School of Criticism and Self-Reflection. This time, let's see how we deal with you. Etc. Mu Niankai stopped the angry girl behind her and said, I still have something to say to her. The girl took a few steps back. It seemed that she was still a little afraid of Mu Niankai. Xia Ying, I gave you several opportunities. It's you who doesn't cherish it, keeps pestering brother Chenai, and goes against me. What's wrong? Aren't you very aggressive and arrogant? You keep rushing on. Mu Niankai crossed her arms and raised her chin proudly to challenge Xia Ying. Wait, Mu Niankai, why do I think you are so stupid? Xia Ying sneered. Mu Niankai looked at Xia Ying with wide eyes. What nonsense are you talking about? Why am I stupid? End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 118. Chapter 118. My boyfriend is much more handsome than Jun Chenai. Xia Ying sighed, looking as helpless as an old mother. Let me ask you, if I am really with Jun Chenai, why do I keep denying it? Because you are afraid that I will cause trouble for you. Mu Niankai answered quickly without any hesitation. Xia Ying was shocked. This girl is really stupid. Yes, just stupid. Even if Xia Ying and Jun Chenai are together, can she be with Jun Chenai just by asking for trouble and giving her a few lessons in private? Who told her the logic? Or should I say that a wealthy lady like Mu Niankai has been used to grabbing things since she was a child? If it's not hers, she will grab it as long as she likes it. Then what are you doing now? Mu Niankai was stunned. Isn't she just looking for trouble for her now? Look, let me analyze it with you. If I'm really with Jun Chenai, and there are so many bodyguards around Jun Chenai, do you think you have a chance to get close to me? If I'm really with him, I can use do you want to come to the comic shop alone? Mu Niankai was startled. What she said seemed to make sense. Xia Ying saw that Mu Niankai was a little moved, so she continued to talk nonsense with her sharp tongue. Actually, I already have a boyfriend. Xia Ying proudly puffed up her chest and said. What? Mu Niankai was surprised. You should have met him, my boyfriend, Yu Lingfen, Yushu Linfen, he is much more handsome than Jun Chenai. Xia Ying continued. Mu Niankai frowned and recalled, yes, she did see a young man in black taking Xia Ying to school one day. Although I only glanced at him from a distance, the young man was really handsome, like a descending to earth. He was indeed a bit more handsome than Jun Chenai. Moreover, that was not the first time Mu Niankai saw him. The last time Hanzija wanted to forcefully kiss Xia Ying, that same person appeared and took Xia Ying away. If you put it this way, it seems that he really is Xia Ying's boyfriend. It seems like you should have remembered. Xia Ying smiled lightly. Then you broke up with Hanzija because of him. Well, almost. Xia Ying responded casually. She wouldn't understand it even after explaining it to her, so why not just let her think so? You think, my boyfriend is so handsome, why am I still entangled with Jun Chenai? But you are clearly entangled with brother Chenai. Mu Niankai retorted. Jun Chenai and I are roommates, and as you know, his family has a good relationship with mine, so it's normal for him to take more care of me. Xia Ying continued, even though he and I have a so-called engagement, but your family is also a big family, and you also know the messy relationship between wealthy families. Anyway, adults just talk about it. If there is a fate, you can't force it. Besides, your Mu family is also a big family. As for the family, You won't suffer at all. Hearing what Xia Ying said, Mu Niankai stared at Xia Ying suspiciously. Why are you telling me this? Because you are so pitiful and you are being taken advantage of all the time without even realizing it. Xia Ying shook her head and sighed. Speak clearly to me. Mu Niankai said seriously, why am I being taken advantage of? Let me ask you, who has been telling you that I have a relationship with Jun Chennai? And who has been encouraging you to come to trouble me? Also, do you know who posted the rumors on the forum? Xia Ying chuckled lightly and looked at Mu Niankai, who was confused. Yu Lingfeng, it looks like this wife hasn't run away. In the next chapter, the male protagonist will be introduced. Let the little cuties vote for recommendation by moving their fingers. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 119. Chapter 119. You said I am your boyfriend. Menjian. Mu Niankai was a little shocked by what Xia Ying said just now. Wait a minute, the rumor on the post forum was posted by Meng Yan. If you don't believe it, you can check her mobile phone, she definitely posted it on her Trumpet account. Xia Ying is 100% sure. But, Menjian has always helped me, how could she publish these rumors to deliberately anger me? Mu Niankai still had some doubts about Xia Ying's words. Well, since you are so stubborn, I will tell you a few more words. Xia Ying crossed her arms and continued, Xia Menjian and I don't have a good relationship. You know this, right? Mu Niankai remained silent and did not speak. But, she has always been double-dealing, trying to please me here and please you here. Otherwise, how do you explain Xia Menjian's absence every time you cause trouble for me? Mu Niankai pursed her lips and recalled Xia Menjian's excuse. Sister Nian Qi, I won't go otherwise. Xia Ying will definitely complain at home I don't have much status at home, and she will definitely find opportunities to make things difficult for me. Mu Niankai agreed when she saw Xia Menjian's pitiful look. Now that I think about it carefully, this girl is really suspicious. Xia Menjian is just waiting for the two of us to fight, and she will reap the benefits. Xia Ying continued, actually, she is the one who really has a problem with me, and you are just of hers. Come on. When her goal is achieved, you are the bad guy, and she is still a fresh and beautiful little white lotus. Mu Niankai clenched her fists angrily, gritted her teeth and said nothing. How are you going to thank me for telling you so much crucial information? Xia Ying chuckled and stretched slowly. Humph, you'd better tell the truth. If you lie to me, I will never let you go. Mu Niankai said angrily. Xia Ying curled her lips and said nothing. Let's go. Mu Niankai led a group of people to leave. Sister Niankai, haven't we avenged our revenge yet? A little girl reminded me. Let's talk about it next time. If she cheats me, I'll get my money back with interest. Mu Niankai said. All right. The group of people had no choice but to follow. Xia Ying breathed a sigh of relief when she saw them walking away. Huh, it's so dangerous. Luckily she has a quick mind and quick reactions, otherwise there is no way she would be able to do it alone among those little girls. Xia Ying was just about to walk towards the comic shop when she heard a clear male voice. You said, I am your boyfriend. Xia Ying's brain was shocked and she was stunned. You Lingfeng. Why did he come out so suddenly? Xia Ying looked back at him dumbfounded, and it turned out to be Yu Lingfeng. Yu Lingfeng was dressed in black and had unparalleled handsome features. Standing there, he looked like the best ink painting. Yu Lingfeng had a half smile on his lips and walked closer to Xia Ying step by step. He stared straight at her. Xia Ying was at a loss for a moment. Why was she so unlucky? She rarely lied, and this was the first time she met the person involved. Looking at Yu Lingfeng's look, he must have heard everything she just said. Embarrassing, so embarrassing. Xia Ying just wanted to find a hole in the ground and get in quickly, hiding and not coming out. Well, I lied to them, I didn't mean to. If you feel uncomfortable listening to it, just pretend you didn't hear it. I didn't say I felt uncomfortable. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 120. Chapter 120, Leave everything about your boyfriend to me. From now on, you can leave all matters related to your boyfriend to me. For it. Xia Ying was stunned and stared at Yu Lingfeng with a blank expression. Yu Lingfeng walked towards her slowly, with an expression on his face that Xia Ying couldn't understand. Yu Lingfeng approached Xia Ying, raised his hand and rubbed her head, with a faint smile on his lips. If you don't go home after school, where are you going? Comic shop. Xia Ying answered truthfully. She always felt that the current atmosphere was a bit strange. I'll accompany you. Yu Lingfeng said, naturally taking Xia Ying's left hand and walking forward. Xia Ying is still a little confused now. Why did Yu Lingfeng suddenly appear here? Yu Lingfeng, why are you here? Xia Ying looked at Yu Lingfeng's handsome and perfect profile and asked. I heard you call my name. Yu Lingfeng whispered, his voice was so soft that Xia Ying was not sure if she heard it. What? Nothing. Yu Lingfeng shook his head, then turned to look at Xia Ying. That group of people often give you trouble. Absolutely, I'm used to it. Xia Ying answered casually. Yu Lingfeng's eyes darkened, and his gaze suddenly became sinister. Yu Lingfeng remembered that that group of people was the same group he sent to the juvenile center last time. It seems that the lessons they received were not enough. But I'm so smart that I won't let them succeed. Xia Ying raised her lips and smiled. At this moment, Mu Niankai must have led the group of people to find Xia Menjian. Although Mu Niankai is stupid, she is ruthless. She has just successfully ignited Mu Niankai's anger. Next, Xia Menjian will suffer. Xia Menjian also wanted to use Mu Niankai to cause trouble for her. Now Xia Menjian really shot herself in the foot. Xia Ying wants her to know that she is not the only one who can sow discord. Her ability is far better than hers. If there is danger, call my name. Yu Lingfeng repeated what he said before. Xia Ying nodded and suddenly thought of something. She raised her head and asked Yu Lingfeng, let me ask you a question. If you don't want to answer, you don't have to answer. You say. Do you know Mr. R? As soon as Xia Ying finished speaking, Yu Lingfeng raised her eyebrows and said with a deep breath, well, go on. I heard that Mr. R was murdered. I like him very much, so I want to know what happened to him. I remember you told me last time that you had a good relationship with Officer Song. You probably know something about it? Xia Ying asked cautiously, fearing that Yu Lingfeng would notice something was wrong. Officer Song is a special police investigator. He has solved many difficult cases. He also often performs dangerous tasks and is a very good police officer. In this city, almost no one knows it. Many children admire him and often say that when they grow up, they want to catch bad guys like Officer Song. The disappearance of Mr. R back then was also a case, but it has not been solved for a long time. No one knows whether he died or changed his identity and went into hiding. Just like how he landed in the entertainment industry before, Mr. R has now become an unsolved mystery in the entertainment industry. Yu Lingfeng pursed his lips and looked at Xia Ying's expectant eyes. After a long time, he asked, do you really want to know? Xia Ying nodded quickly. What if I say, he is dead? Xia Ying's eyes widened and she was a little panicked. Yu Lingfeng frowned, sensing something was wrong with Xia Ying, and quickly changed his words, I'm just kidding, he's not dead. Thanks to the little cutie Aikungzi's 1,000 paper cranes for the reward. In addition, 3 chapters will be updated in the early morning, and they will be completed in one go. There are dog food, abuse, and surprises. End of this chapter.